What's going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers are, at least at this moment, going to be heavily leaning on two very young players in Dalton Knecht and Max Christie. Now, obviously, again, the Lakers pull off some trades, make some significant moves. Maybe there won't be as much of a need for Christie and Dalton Knecht to be great as there is right now for the Lakers, where they're probably going to be key rotation pieces. But even if the Lakers do pull off a trade, chances are they're still going to be heavily needed, right? Like, even if the Lakers go and pull off like a Jeremy Grant trade, they're going to be swapping three guys to go get Jeremy Grant, which is going to have even more of a need potentially for a Max Christie and a Dalton Knecht. But what is the likelihood of these two truly having an impact, and what is the need? Now, obviously, start with Max Christie, because he's the guy that we have the most information on, and we even though it's not a ton, because Darvin Ham just seemed to refuse to play him, even when we desperately needed him at times. But he's a guy that legit is a 3-and-D guy, right? He is a guy that is, and we saw, have some very tough matchups. I mean, I remember the Milwaukee Bucks Damian Lillard game where he was clamping up Dame. And, in the Suns matchups, the Phoenix Suns matchup, where he was going up against Devin Booker and holding his own on the defensive side. He's 40% on catch and shoot threes. Not 40% total in threes, but hopefully he can continue to make improvements and take strides in that regard. If he can be a serviceable, just 3-and-D style two guard that can occasionally slot over to the three for the Lakers, that's going to be massive, right? Obviously, again, I'm sure he'll have his ups and downs. I'm sure he'll have his hiccups. I'm sure he'll have the game where he goes and drops 25 and we're like, oh, look, Max Christie's here. And then he might have that game where he's, 1 of 11 from the field. It's what happens with the young guys, right? But it's how can he consistently game in and game out? And then obviously what is being asked of him. If he's being asked to make plays and, not only for himself but for others, and having to put the ball on the deck constantly and, just basically be a real bucket getter for the Lakers, so that's a lot of ask, for a 21-year-old that just hasn't had a ton of experience just playing that role. Now, is he capable of it? Possibly. And you also never know until you know, right? The Lakers needed that from Austin Reeves, for example, and Austin Reeves was able to do it. Austin Reeves was able to step right into that role and did it beautifully. But he was also like 4 years older at the time, right? So age and just, consistency and just being more in a grown man body and all that stuff, it's very different, right? Where Max Christie, is it possible for him to do that? Sure. Right? You never know. He's shown the ability to put the ball on the deck, to rise up and create shots for himself. We've seen him even be able to make the occasional play for others. But ideally, you're hoping not to ask him to have to do too much. Ideally, you're hoping for him to basically just, hey, see that guy in front of you? Do your best to just shut him down. And then be ready for the shot and knock it down, right? If he can just basically be that 3-and-D, and you have other guys like a D'Angelo Russell, like a LeBron James, basically creating and generating the looks for Max Christie, then I think Max Christie can have a lot of success. I think there's already an argument, even in the limited sample sizes we've seen with him, that he is our best on-ball defender, not named Jared Vanderbilt. Now, I do think Gabe Vincent, you can make an argument for it, but Max Christie with his size and versatility, I actually put him over personally. Now, again, it's very small sample size. It's one thing to have to, stay in front of and try to slow down Damian Lillard for, 5 minutes a game. It's another thing when you got to do it for 30 minutes a game, right? And do you kind of get worn down as a defender? Do eventually your defensive exploits start to show themselves, right? And he's not a perfect defender. He's still very young, and he still defends like that at times. Like, you'll see Max Christie, he gambles at times, or, the discipline on the defensive side of defending without fouling can be on occasion, right? But I think if you put him in the right positions, which I do think J.J. Redick will. I mean, J.J. Redick in Max Christie have both said that they're both on the same page on what his role should be. If he's just a 3-and-D type of guard, then I think he'll have a ton of success for Lakers. I do have my concerns if you're asking him to go above and beyond that. And then Dalton Knecht. Now, Dalton Knecht, we don't have really the evidence yet outside of, obviously, Summer League, but Summer League is not the NBA. But what we did see from the Summer League is a very confident, very smooth, very skillful 3-level scorer, right? He's got the surprising athleticism. He's got the ability to knock down the open three. He's able to create and make shots for himself. But again, I default to a lot of the same things I did with Max Christie. If you're asking for Dalton Knecht to come in and have to make plays for himself and have to make plays for others and, has to be this basically another Austin Reeves 2.0, then I have my worries, right? Again, I'm not going to put a limitation on him and say, oh, he can't do that, because we don't know. Right? Even Max Christie, we don't know. He's shown that he has the ability to do it. Dalton Knecht has shown he has the ability to do it, but can you do it consistently night in and night out? And can you do it on a expanded role? Right? So to me, I again kind of lean towards, you want with the young guys, you want with the, Dalton Knecht is obviously older, but he's still a rookie, right? You don't want to put too much responsibility and too much just pressure on them. You want to make things as easy and simple as possible, right? There's already going to be the pressure of just being in the rotation and having to play the game of basketball, but can you mitigate some of that by, again, having guys like LeBron set it up to where Dalton Knecht's just like, hey, again, stay in front of the guy that's in front of you and then hit the open shot. On occasion, sure, put the ball on the deck, go ahead, get to the basket, fine, but really need you to just be able to knock down the open shot. Also, Dalton Knecht from the mid-range, I think, is going to be huge, right? Because you can run a lot of, you can have him as the screen setter and kind of run some pick and pop actions, obviously run some pick and roll actions with his athleticism, but I do think that mid-range for him, especially if he can develop that kind of, where he can kind of use his size, his length, and his foot speed to kind of get to his spots and elevate, I think that could go a long way, right? Again, you saw Austin Reeves just come out of left field for the Lakers. Can that happen again? I'm not going to rule it out, right? But it is something that is not super, even Austin Reeves, even though he kind of came out of left field and it happened out of desperation. Right? It didn't happen because we were in a spot to where hopefully this season we're not in a spot where we're desperate. Hopefully it's not, we're in a spot where it's like we need these two guys to be, not like all-star level, but great, right? We need them to be very good, right? We need them to be our, 6th and 7th best players on the roster, right? Ideally, you kind of want it to where it's like, hey, play hard-nosed basketball, do the dirty work, right? Hit the occasional open shot. If you deliver a goose egg tonight, no big deal. It's not the end of the world. It's not you want these two to kind of be the cherry on top rather than the whole cake or part of the cake, right? You want these two to kind of be that, one's the sprinkles, one's the cherry, and you're just they're pushing you over the top, right? Lakers, hey, we just need you two guys to go can you collectively give us 12 a night, right? Or 16 a night, where each one's averaging, 8, right? That's perfect. That's all you need. You don't need this huge ask, but if it's hey, we need one of you to average 15 and the other one to average 12 or something, we need 30 points from the both of you. Again, now that's a big ask. Again, I wouldn't tell them I only need 8. I would tell them I need 15 a night from you, right? But you also, again, you don't want to, if you're that reliant on these two, could be a problem. It all boils down to, again, what is the role? How many minutes, right? Are they actually going to get real opportunity? Because, you can only score by as many attempts as you get. or as many shots as you get. Even if they shoot 100% from the floor, obviously it's not going to happen, but even if they shot 100% from the floor, if you only get 2 shots, then you're only going to average 4 points, right? So realistically, it's going to be on their production and how much are they actually utilized, right? If they're out there and they're a big focal point on offense and defense, then yeah, hopefully, which I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping they're not like a real focal point, unless they're just like, Dalton Knecht is just, Austin Reeves 2.0 right out the gate. Then yeah, sure, right? If he can go get you 15, why would you want to take away from that? Or, Max Christie, again, if he could, if he's 15 a game and can defend the best player on the other team, why would you want to restrict that, right? But realistically, you don't want to have to put too much pressure on the young guys too soon, right? You want them to be another addition that is able to have an impact. But if they're great, you win every game. If they're not, you're not going to lose every game. Right? That's where you want them to where it's like, if they're great, you're never beating the Lakers. But if they're kind of so-so, which they'll probably both have inconsistencies, even if both are great, let's say both average 15 a night, right? And both guys are giving you 30 collectively, they're still going to have that. Dalton Knecht's still going to have that night where he gives you a goose egg or gives you 2. Max Christie's still going to have that night where he gives you a goose egg or he gives you 2 or something like that, right? It's how it comes, right? And they're not going to get the opportunity to the scale of like a LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But I do think both of these guys and their versatilities to play the 2, play the 3, although I think both are probably best at the 2, you're probably going to have to run one, if not both of these guys at the 3 on occasion. But, Max Christie, to me, I think his defense is good enough to warrant him to be on the court. Dalton Knecht, can he hold his own on the defensive side? Right? Like, he had his struggles in Summer League. Now he's going to go into the NBA, and you're going to be asking him to defend at an NBA level. Is he going to be able to do that? Again, the more you do, the more opportunity you have, the more comfortable you get, the easier it becomes. But it is something worth note. Like, is he going to be able to consistently hold his own on the defensive side? I did like that even when he did get beat or he did get blown by, he didn't just give up on the play. You see a lot of guys, young and old, just give up on plays entirely. He actually would stick with the guy and, recover nicely and stuff. So I have a lot of hope, I have a lot of excitement, and I have a lot of belief in these two. But, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you think that these two have a real impact this upcoming season with the Lakers? Do you think no? Do you not want them to have the pressure of having to do that? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.